Hello and welcome to Covbleed. I'm so sorry. With your hosts, Jack Wolf and Lila Keon.
On today's show, we're covering all your paranormal needs, from local Halloween attractions, which horror movie baddie would win in a fight, and how to be safe on a night out.
But first, Terrifier 3 came out recently, and it is controversial, to say the least.
We have a story from our entertainment reporters Maya and Rayanne breaking down the reactions to the film and asking the question, how much gore is too much?
With spooky season upon us, Terrifier 3 has been one of the most talked about horror movies of 2024. But why is that? Maya and I took a trip to the cinema to see if it's as graphic as everyone says. Here's us getting traumatized for your entertainment. However, it doesn't seem like we were the only ones that reacted like this. These are just some of the reviews online. One mentioned how Google needs a 0-star edition, and another says how they think you've got to be genuinely disturbed to enjoy watching this. More reviews describe this movie as violent and nasty. One person with a contrasting opinion is film expert Jack Chase, as he believes there is reasons for this level of violence.
Personally, I don't think that's taking the gore too far, because I think people should be allowed to creatively express what they want to express, even if some people might find that disturbing. But I do think the reason why films nowadays are getting gorier and gorier is because people become desensitized to what's become before.
Although it's clear a lot of people do think this movie is extra, is it just a case of being scared, or could this turn into a deeper mental issue for its viewers?
In terms of seeing it, I think it probably does something to do with people becoming desensitized to seeing violence, but I do think there's a difference between fake violence and fake gore on a film and then in real life. I don't think people are going to watch Terrifier 3 and then burn someone alive in real life. I just don't think it's ever going to be a case where it's like people see things and think, oh, that looks mint, I'm going to go and do that now.
If this is the standard for horror movies this year, are we in for more of a trick next year?
Thanks, Rayanne and Maya. Now, I saw Terrifiers 1 and 2, and they were pretty terrifying.
That's hilarious. Very funny. Can we change the subject, please?
Halloween has been around in one shape or another for hundreds of years.
But it wasn't always cat costumes and skeletons. Now, Frankie has been looking into the history of Halloween. What have you found, Frankie?
Yeah, thank you. Halloween is a mix of religious practice, pagan influence, and commercialism. The name Halloween comes from All Hallows Eve, the eve of All Saints' Day, which is a Catholic festival to mourn the dead. Over the years, this merged with the ancient Celtic holiday of Samhain, which was to celebrate the halfway point between the summer solstice and the winter equinox. Both dwelled on dark themes of death, eventually merging in the culture, which was then exported to America. This is where now common customs like trick-or-treating became part of the tradition. As American capitalism grew, Halloween became more expansive, and costumes, candies and cauldrons being mass-produced and sold to the masses. Halloween, despite having some religious origins in All Hallows Eve, has long attracted the ire of religious communities, namely American evangelical Christians, who throughout the late 1900s claimed it was devil worship, particularly in the 80s and 90s, with what became known as the Satanic Panic. With the advent of online marketplaces like Amazon and cheap retailers like Shein, Halloween decor and costumes have become more easily available and ever more disposable. However, some are bucking this trend and using online platforms to share DIY craft projects. In this day and age, online trends, more than traditional witches and ghouls, dictate Halloween trends, with last year's Barbie movie launching thousands of Barbie-themed looks. Although there are competing narratives as to the origin of Halloween, what's clear is that it is very, very much here to stay.
Thanks, Frankie. Now, having fun on Halloween is a must, but we need to have a conversation about staying safe. The risk of sexual violence doubles when alcohol is involved.
Our lifestyle correspondent Katie had a chat with a sexual violence campaigner about their efforts to make going out as safe as possible.
Halloween isn't just about dressing up in scarily accurate Halloween costumes and going to the pub. If you're a university student, I'm sure you're also concerned about how to stay safe on a night out. As most sexual violence occurs between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m, Halloween proves an especially tricky event to navigate when you're going out. According to a study by Revolt Sexual Assault and the Student Room, 62% of students experience some form of sexual violence at a UK university. Only a quarter of the 6% of students that report violence against them actually feel satisfied from the response they receive from both their university and the police. Tracy Vitchers, the executive director of American campaign group It's On Us, was horrified at the statistics and spoke about how universities in the UK could change.
I do think that it starts with peer education. Right. And the way that you effectively do that, right, is you find students who care about this issue. And you work with them to understand what does their campus community look like.
Coventry University Protection Service released a list of top tips that will help students stay safe on a night out. This isn't an entirely UK issue, and there has been extensive work completed in other countries to help survivors of sexual assault and help prevent it happening in the first place at universities.
Because ultimately, it is the members of the community that set that community culture that enable sexual violence to happen. And if you start to transform that culture of that community to a place where sexual assault is not acceptable, and if it happens, survivors are supported, you will see a reduction in sexual violence.
It's On Us is now looking to expand its charitable work into the universities in the UK. Please feel free to contact Coventry University Protection Services, or if you have been affected by sexual violence and would like to talk to someone professional, contact one of the numbers on the screen. Katie Light for COVFEED News.
Thanks, Katie, and hope you all stay safe this Halloween.
Now, Halloween wouldn't be the same without the best of the best horror movie villains.
Be sure to check out COVFEED on Twitter to check out the top 10 horror villains of all time.
Now, I've got a question for you, Lila. Who do you think would win in a fight? Pennywise or Michael Myers?
Pennywise, for sure.
I mean, it's Michael Myers. Pennywise got beaten up by a bunch of kids, literally called the Losers Club.
Yeah, but Pennywise is fitter.
What?
Yep, played by the gorgeous Bill Skarsgård. I would pick Pennywise any day of the week.
That wasn't the question. We're talking about who would win in a fight.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. Our reporter Pay, at least, wanted the real question answered, so she asked around to find out.
With Halloween just around the corner, we hit the streets of Coventry just to ask members of the public one burning question. Who would win in a fight, Mike Myers or Pennywise?
I think Michael Myers is going to win because Pennywise feeds on fears, but Michael Myers has no fears.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Pennywise. I think he'll win the fight.
Michael Myers, definitely. I'm old school. He will definitely beat Pennywise all day long.
I think Pennywise will win because he has powers, he can shapeshift, and he's more scarier than Mike Myers.
I feel like Pennywise is more scarier generally because of the fact that he preys on children's deepest fears and it can affect them from young. So that explains why he's more scarier than Mike Myers.
We've talked about plenty of horror films already, but it's time to take a look at a couple you might not have heard of.
It might be because they're underappreciated or low budget, but they're worth mentioning just as much as any Halloween or Scream film.
Now, my pick is Wreck. It's a Spanish-language zombie film set in a quarantined apartment building. It is intense, and it genuinely creeped me out and shocked me in a way that few films ever have, especially for something with such a low budget.
And if you're looking for something more psychological, then check out the film Cam. It follows the dark underbelly of the cam girl industry and its effects while also being deeply creepy.
So, Lila, what are you going as for Halloween?
I'm going as a Monster High doll. How about you?
I'm going to pretend to know what that is. I'm going as Human Shrek.
Yeah, you could probably pull that off.
I know I would. And I'm sure you could pull off whatever nonsense you're dressing as.
But we're not the only people dressing up for Halloween. Plenty of celebrities have already posted their own costumes.
And we're going to mercilessly judge them. So join us for Score or Gore. Now, this is Sophie Turner, who played Sansa Stark in Game of Thrones, and she's going for kind of, it's The Matrix,
yeah.
Trinity from The Matrix.
I personally think she looks great. It's a little bit basic, but I think that it's a classic. It's always a classic to go with the black suit.
It's not like incredibly high effort, but I think that actually adds to its charm. It's very much a natural kind of, like she's just going out, you know? So yeah, I definitely say this is a Score.
Yeah, I'd personally go Score as well. Next, we have Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco as Alice and the Mad Hatter. Now, they've been all over social media quite a lot, Benny Blanco. And obviously, they've gone for more of a traditional outfit, a couple's costume, which looks great.
I think there's a nice sort of combo here, as is classic in couples costumes. We kind of have one hot one, one funny, weird one, and I think they've kind of nailed that kind of contrast.
I think I'd go for a score.
Same. Now, this is Lizzo, who's dressing effectively as herself from the South Park episode, which very much made fun of her. So I think this is actually really good, kind of Lizzo being a really good sport.
I quite like that she can laugh at herself. I also think it's quite an easy outfit, but it's also quite standout. It's funny, so I personally would give her a score.
Same here. We're agreeing too much.
Yeah, we need to disagree a bit more.
Exactly.
Hannah Hathaway as Boo York City, obviously a play on the words of New York City. I do like this outfit. I personally think she could have gone for something a bit more extravagant.
I like a pun as much as the next guy, and if you build your entire costume around a pun, I have to respect that. But I'm not that fussed about it either. I wish I could disagree with you, but
I'm personally going to go gore.
Gore.
Yeah. And then finally we have Jack Whitehall and Roxy Horner as Reagan and the Joker.
Now, I quite like this one. I think that the Joker costume, while potentially overplayed, is actually done quite well. And I think Jack Whitehall, he's an entertaining guy, and I think his play on ray gun is actually quite funny.
I think they both look amazing, but personally I think the Joker's slightly basic and overdone, so I'm going to have to go with gore.
And we are finally disagreeing. I'm going to give this one a score. So that's it for Score or Gore. Please return next year, where I'm sure there'll be more humiliating costumes to look at. Now, there's plenty to do in the Halloween season, but it's often difficult to choose from.
We sent Edgemon to St Mary's Guildhall in Coventry to take a look at what's on offer this week.
How's it going over there, Edgemon?
Hi everyone, I'm Edgemon and I'm right outside of Guildhall. They're hosting a wild lantern workshop where you can create your own spooky decorations and creations. And guess what? There's going to be a thrilling live parade happening tomorrow from 10 AM and 1 PM. Where you can walk the streets of Coventry and show off your amazing creations. So make sure you're there. Stay tuned to COVFEED to find out more.
Thanks, Edgemon. Now it's time for some more spooky news to keep you all up to date this Halloween season.
A woman from Oxfordshire has now divorced a ghost, accusing him of cheating on her with the spirit of Marilyn Monroe. Married since 2021, the paranormal investigator and horror influencer claims she saw her Victorian lover flirting with the 50s star at a hotel in Los Angeles. Rest in peace to their relationship.
Lush has fans raving with its Halloween product range. It boasts glow-in-the-dark shower gel and pumpkin-themed bath bombs and soaps. The limited edition range is available in shops until it's sold out.
But not everyone is having such a great time this Halloween. In Shanghai, authorities have cracked down on people wearing fancy dress. This is an attempt to avoid a repeat of the crowds that gathered last year, in which some wore politically charged costumes. Some mocked political figures in China, and there were hazmat suits to reference the COVID-19 outbreak.
A children's soft play has apologised for its spooky decorations, which shocked parents with their realism. Rugrats and Half Pints in Gloucestershire had objects covered in black bin bags, resembling human corpses, which parents have said is inappropriate for a place for kids.
And on that note, that's all we have for today on our Covbleed Halloween special.
Hope you all have a great Halloween.
Check out our Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter for more.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.